Most people think Impressionism is about painting quickly. Loose brushstrokes, soft colors, a sketchy look. But that is not what Impressionism really means. Impressionism is not a style of speed. It is a style of seeing. To understand Impressionism, we have to go back to a time when art was not about feeling at all. It was about rules. Before Impressionism, European art was dominated by what we call academic painting. This was the official art of the 18th and early 19th centuries. Paintings were expected to follow strict rules, clean outlines, smooth surfaces, historical or mythological subjects, perfect anatomy, idealized beauty. Paintings were not supposed to show the artist's hand. Brushstrokes were hidden, texture was erased. The goal was not to show life as it felt, it was to show life as it should look. But the world was changing. By the mid-1800s, France was no longer quiet and rural. Paris became modern. Trains moved fast. Cities grew crowded. People walked, talked, drank, and worked in public spaces. Life was no longer slow and stable. It was moving, and art had not caught up yet. A group of young painters began to feel that academic art no longer made sense. They wanted to paint real life, not ancient heroes, not gods, not perfect bodies. They wanted to paint people in cafes, women walking in gardens, boats on rivers, light in the morning, shadows in the afternoon. But more importantly, they wanted to paint how things felt in the moment. The term Impressionism actually started as an insult. In 1874, Claude Monet showed a painting called Impression Sunrise. A critic saw it and said, "This is not a finished painting, it's just an impression." He meant it as an attack. But the artists accepted the name, because that was exactly the point. They were not painting reality, they were painting their impression of reality. So what does Impressionism really mean? It means painting perception instead of precision, painting experience instead of perfection, painting light instead of line. Impressionists were not careless, they were intentional. They knew that the world does not appear sharp and still to our eyes. It flickers, it moves, it shifts with light. They wanted their paintings to reflect that. In academic art, brushstrokes disappear. In Impressionism, brushstrokes speak. Each mark is visible. Each stroke shows movement. Each texture shows energy. The painting is not a window anymore. It becomes a surface with life on it. The brushstroke becomes part of the message. One of the biggest changes was where artists painted. Before Impressionism, painters worked mostly in studios. But Impressionists went outside. They painted en plein air, in open air. Why? Because light changes. Morning light is not afternoon light. Cloudy light is not sunny light. They wanted to catch the world as it appeared in that moment. Impressionists stopped drawing heavy outlines. Instead, they let color create shape. Blue next to yellow, orange next to purple. They understood that our eyes mix color naturally, so they let the viewer complete the image. Impressionism changed what was painted. No kings, no gods, no epic battles. Instead, friends at lunch, women reading, people boating, children playing. Ordinary life became worthy of art. This was radical. It said, your everyday experience matters. Claude Monet took this idea further than anyone. He painted the same subject again and again, not because it stayed the same, but because it never did. What changed was the light. For Monet, the subject was not the haystack, it was the atmosphere around it. Renoir focused on people, on warmth, on softness, on connection. His paintings feel alive because he was not painting anatomy, he was painting presence. Many people say Impressionist paintings look unfinished. That is because they don't close every form. They let things dissolve into light. They trusted the viewer's eye to complete the scene. The painting is not telling you everything. It invites you to participate. Impressionism is not just a technique. It is a philosophy. It says life is temporary. Moments pass. Beauty exists in the now. They were not chasing perfection. They were chasing presence. Today, we live even faster than they did. Impressionism reminds us to slow down, to notice light, to notice color, to notice small moments. It teaches us to see again. So what does Impressionism really mean? It does not mean painting quickly. It means painting how the world feels in motion. It is not about accuracy. It is about perception. And that's why Impressionism still matters. This is Art Origins, understanding art from its beginning. If you want to see the world differently, start by understanding how artists learned to see it.